number 40 out of 40. And a first-round playoff preview at that. There's the Windsor Express here at the Kitchener Memorial Auditorium set to take on the KW Titans. Hello, everybody. Thank you for tuning in on this Saturday night. It's Ian Jodry and Dan Polishek bringing you this National Basketball League of Canada affair. The number 3 seed Titans, the number 2 seed Windsor Express. Although it is a playoff preview per se, it won't exactly be a preview as to the level and players that we'll see on the court, but regardless, still we'll get an idea of how these teams match up.
Absolutely, and for the KW Titans, as has been preached endlessly by their head coach, Serge Langus, they want to finish strong. They want to finish the season on the right way, as he always puts it. So that obviously means looking to extend this current, back-to-back wins and extending that into a 3-game win streak going into the postseason against a Windsor team that they haven't fared all too well against. Obviously, 1-5, that's well known up to this matchup here tonight. So KW again looking to maybe make a bit of a statement, as these two teams, as you alluded to, will be facing off in the first round of the NBL Canada playoffs. First game will be taking place down in Windsor, the first 2 in fact, before it returns home here to KW. But for the Titans, they welcome back Ed Horton to the starting 5. We saw him introduced, although they'll be missing again Jason Calise for another game. He's dealing with some hand and ligament issues.
Indeed, that best-of-5 series will kick off Friday, May 5th in Windsor. So just about 6 days from now, we'll have a chance to regroup after this game today. You mentioned Windsor winning 5 of the 6 in this season series. The Titans will try and take one more on their home court. Both teams trying to enter the postseason on a 3-game win streak. And you look at this Windsor team, and the first thing that's almost got to come to mind is Juan Patillo, and my oh my, what a second half of the season he's had.
Oh, absolutely, he has. And you throw in a guy, wow, like him into any sort of lineup, but can join him with Maurice Jones, who's had a fantastic week himself, 14.5 points per game, 12 dimes in terms of his average the previous week, earning him Central Division Player of the Week honors. So you mentioned those two players in the same breath. No wonder the Windsor Express probably are feeling pretty confident as they wrap up the regular season and head into the playoffs. It's a season that they started off, a lot of question marks, but boy, did they turn things around, and they've proven to be a tough team to play against and has earned them victories as of late in that back-to-back wins against East Coast teams, the Island Storm and the defending champion Halifax Hurricane.
We are underway now here at the Yacht as it's Darren Duncan right out of the gates for Windsor. He's watched by Isaiah Nwapeg. They work it down low inside Shaq Keith. Patillo, the nice adjustment in midair. That's why we'll be talking about him a lot the next few weeks, and as well as tonight. He gets Windsor on the board, 2-0. And the other way, a turnover as it was Ed Horton driving hard. Looks like he might have drew contact, but they roll out of bounds in a clean turnover. Express ball.
Now, talking to Ed Horton after the Titans' last game, he saw limited minutes in that one coming off the bench, having been dealing with a bit of a groin injury, and we saw him kind of hobble off at one point during the game, and we didn't see him much afterwards. And he's just trying to ease himself back into game action, game speed, and with a bit of a break now, almost a full week since their last game, he's going to be looking to really up that tempo here tonight.
Off the miss that time from Duncan. Here's Nwapeg getting a more so rare start. Usually a player used off the bench. Blazik in the corner, tries his luck and knocks down the triple to get KW on the board. It's 3-2.
And that only sets up a shout out to Therese Blazik, who's tuning in on tonight's webcast, posting there that she's just recovering from a foot operation. Hope you're doing a lot better. Thanks so much for tuning in and wishing you all the best for a quick recovery. And that's 3 all the way from Kitchener.
Shaq Keith, nice move inside and muscles his way in for the 2. Nwapeg off that screen, drops it off. Whitfield tries to get that pass away before falling out of bounds, but it's Ward with the interception. Duncan the other way. Ward pull up 3, puts it in.
Former Ottawa Gigi getting on the board here in the early going as Windsor goes up by 4 here.
Here's Wing. Over to Nwapeg, who's left open for 3, but can't respond. Last night, the Moncton Miracles also punching their ticket to the postseason, picking up a win in Cape Breton, so they will get in as the 4 seed in the Atlantic Division. Blazik kick out, Umapeg, and stepped out.
Kind of unfortunate break for the Cape Breton Highlanders, looking to make the postseason in their inaugural season as well. Just didn't quite work out for them with Moncton squeaking in.
We talk about establishing expectations for expansion franchise is always tremendously tough. And it was certainly, I wouldn't say a bit of a surprise, but certainly not what many people expected from the Titans to put together a season like they did in a tough Central Division and not only get into the playoffs, but they're not getting in just as the 4 seed and getting a sure first round elimination from London. They're getting in as number 3, and they'll have a chance to do it against a team that will have only had less than a handful of wins more than they did in the regular season.
Absolutely, and the fact that they've dealt with their fair share of turnover and injuries as well, and much has been publicized about that. Every team goes through it, but the fact that, you know, they might have been given a bit of leeway at being a rookie franchise, but, you know, they piece things together. Much credit to GM Stu Julius and head coach Serge Langus for putting out a competitive team on the floor, and I think that was important because you're trying to establish yourself in this market, and this Kitchener-Waterloo community, they want to get behind a winner. And although this team is under 500, they've been pretty much in every ball game they've played in this season. Really have maybe less than a handful of games they've actually been defeated handily.
They've been right there even when it looked like they've been down and out that time. It's Ed Horton turning it over. Ward in transition. It was blocked cleanly by Horton as they forced the turnover.
And not to mention, we've said time and again, having defeated both the defending champion Halifax Hurricanes and the team that made the finals, London Lightning, in the same season. That says a lot too. Nice turnover and points off the turnover there by Isaiah Umapeg.
And it seems like that win at home in overtime against London was almost one of those trademark moments in their inaugural season. A come from behind win, winning in the extra frame.
And we've seen certainly some dramatics this season. We had the buzzer beater win by the Hurricanes as they were visiting Kitchener. Certainly stands out as one of the, it was a highlight, I'd say, because, you know, KW, I don't think they were really expected to hang with them. But you know what, they were certainly competitive in that ball game, and the fact that it came down to the last shot says a lot about the effort.
That's right, and that was the lone Friday night game on the schedule. We talked about how the crowd that would usually come out for the Kitchener Rangers of the Ontario Hockey League, it was a good showing. Great attendance, and against a top-notch team, the Halifax Hurricanes, in a game that the Titans led or were in it for most of the game. It came down to a shot at the buzzer by Mike Poole to win it. And that time it's Ward with the corner three and a 12-5 run to start this one for the Express. Sutherland, the crossover, but he traveled.
And Ward already his second three ball of the night, helping to pace this offense to this 12-5 lead with 7:35 to go in the opening frame. And we have a Titans timeout in the early going. Serge Langus not liking the team's effort, I guess, here in the opening minutes, and 40% from the field. Not concerning necessarily, but not the best of starts, obviously.
Through 39 games heading into tonight, Ward has liberated anybody in this Windsor lineup. 103 made three-pointers on 274 attempts. That 103, the closest, is a second with Wally Ellenson with 84, so certainly a sharp shooter. Mix in the presence of Juan Patillo, guys like DeAndre Thomas and Nick Evans down the post. It is certainly going to be a tough first-round matchup.
Especially traveling down to the WFC, well, I guess
new name,
exactly, new venue as well, while the WFCU Center hosts the Memorial Cup. tickets already available, and make sure to check that out online for KW Titans fans looking to make the trek down the 401. Game 3 for the first ever playoff home game for KW will be on Wednesday, May the 10th. That's a 7 p.m. tip-off, rather. A little late there if we make it a 10:30 one, I guess. 7 p.m. is the tip, and again, I believe tickets are available. Make sure to check out kwtitans.ca for more details on that front.
Same five back onto the court for KW. Umapeg, Blazek, Wing, Sutherland, and Whitfield.
Jamar Sutherland having himself a heck of a performance in KW's last game, putting up 24 points. Just behind Flenn Whitfield. Really, everyone has been in terms of offensive output. Man's been a beast in the last spurt of games.
Here's Patillo. And Duncan. He's guarded by Isaiah Umapeg. An offensive foul, an illegal screen. Looks like it's going to be called that time on Ward as he picks up his first of the evening.
Having a bit of a chuckle to himself, as doesn't really believe in that call or agree with it. But nonetheless, results in a turnover here, and KW looking to chip away at this Windsor lead.
Whitfield backing in on the post and against Logan Stutz, kicks it out to no one. Saw Blazek out there, but not quite in that vicinity.
That's going to be a tough task for Flenn Whitfield. A couple of too many dribbles, I think, in that instance allowed Stutz to really plant himself, and Whitfield try to get it back out. Maybe try a bit of a rotation up top, but by that point, no one there. Here's Stutz getting inside. Here's a mismatch.
Yeah, Stutz against Wing. Lost the ball, though. His last touch by Wing.
Good job, though, by Wing to keep his feet moving there as he reached in to knock that ball loose. Both those players on the floor right now, and Stutz and Wing, solid defenders in their own right.
Duncan blows by the reverse block by Whitfield. Duncan with the step back two and rattles it in.
Just as the shot clock expired, the fadeaway J falls for the Express. Impressive looking shot.
Wing straightaway three won't go. And Patillo there for the rebound. Duncan in transition hits Ward in the corner. Duncan off that pick. Ward trying to cross over Umapeg and then drills another corner three. Warren Ward, three triples to start the ball game, and it's a 17-5 Express lead.
Yeah, the Express are doing a good job of overloading on the one side, finding the ISO there with Ward. Umapeg tried to get it there in time, but a little too late as Ward was able to set up nicely for that three ball.
Whitfield was looking for the pass, got a pretty good look in the paint, but that one just rattled out. Now the subs are going to be coming for Coach Langus. Ward passed out of the shot fake. They work it around to Duncan. 13 to shoot. Back to Ward. And Stutz. Mismatch against Umapeg and scores easily. 19-5 Windsor to start this one off. Sutherland in transition lays it in. Titans trying to stop the bleeding here early out of the gates, and the Express going to counterpart those subs. DeAndre Thomas, Maurice Jones also set to check in for Windsor. Meanwhile, it's Greg Morrow and Tyrone Dixon about to come in on the KW side of things, and now we'll have the substitutions take place. It looks like George Blakeney is also going to hit the court for Kitchener-Waterloo. Horton also checking back into the game. Umapeg out.
Gibson and Horton checking into the game for the Titans. Patillo for the Express.
And Stutz, you might recall, former Niagara River Lions, and now applying his trade with Windsor, and boy, what a pickup he's been for the Express. We'll touch on that in a second.
Batillo off the missed free throw. Sutherland, the corner three, puts it in. A good start for Sutherland. He has 5 quick points, has made his first 2 shots. 20-10. Keith to Ward into the corner. Thomas was open for the long 2 and he rattles that one in. Blakeney in the post, kicks out. Sutherland almost had that pass picked off, but can't get that one to drop. Nice move, good luck.
Nice dribble drive there for sure from Sutherland, got to finish.
Ward watched by Horton, looking for that screen from Thomas. Separates and puts it high off the window and in. 24-10 Windsor, and still over 4 minutes to go in the first quarter. Morrow, nice move inside, but not a pretty looking shot.
Off balance, just trying to get it off the window. No love there though.
Patillo the miss. And Sutherland gonna try and...
Good job here by Sutherland, just slowing things down, staying controlled.
Blakeney, the long 2, puts it in.
Sets up a nice jumper from Blakeney, but that's what the Titans have to do. Don't get too over-aggressive to the point where we saw Morrow attacking the basket. Great idea, but a tough shot in the end. Make it easy for yourselves.
Thomas backing in against Blakeney. Spins, puts it up in. Drops it in.
Sutherland just runs up the floor, just shaking his head. Great play by Thomas to beat off the double team.
Had Blakeney in, and then Sutherland, the help defender, came in for the double team. You're right, but still able to score on the other side. Then it's Blakeney missing for KW. Here's Maurice Jones. Wally Ellenson set to check in for the Express. Thomas, contested J, won't go. Horton blows by his defender at the half court, got room, goes coast to coast, and ends up drawing the foul. I believe it's going to go on Thomas. Indeed it will. That's his first.
Certainly don't judge him by his size. He's 6'8", 300 pounds. Number 2 can shoot the basketball, as he's already proven here tonight. Have to contest, have to get up on him. And certainly, obviously, provides a presence in the paint. Although burned for a foul call in that instance. But a good start here for the Express as Horton settles in for the free throw and misses the first. Titans have to continue to attack.
Horton, who's been shooting around 87% at the stripe this year, misses number 1. Titans as a team, one of the top free throw shooting teams in the National Basketball League of Canada. Thomas, one-on-one against Blakeney, has the ball poked loose, has to recover, throws it up, and ends up drawing the foul. So 2 free throws coming up. Blakeney thought he went straight up and down, but Thomas gets a trip to the line.
And fouls have been an issue for George Blakeney, especially in the last couple of games, and he's just got to settle in here. He's got a nice bucket, some good help on defense, but they need him to stay on the floor a little more regularly. Or given the a reason why, he should stay out there too. As Blakeney gets a bit of a high five here from Dixon, who's in the ball game now. Just trying to keep his positivity level up. Last thing you want to see is a player get down on themselves. It certainly affects their play.
It's tough to play any sport, let alone the sport of basketball, if your confidence isn't at an all-time high. Horton drops in the 3. Trying to put a halt to this. Dixon, the turnover off the inbounds. Titans ball. Horton over to Sutherland. Trying to convert, throws it up off the window, won't go. Offensive rebound. Dixon is going to the free throw line. First forces the turnover and draws the foul on the second effort. 27-16, and a chance for Dixon to cut into the lead at the free throw line.
Former Humber player now, getting some minutes here in the opening quarter, trying to spark his team maybe a little bit. KW off to a slow start offensively, just the 16 points now to 17.
Dixon good on both. 27-18. Titans have 2 more fouls to give in this opening quarter. Bennett trying to work around Sutherland, goes baseline, gets bumped, no foul.
And that's a tough one there because
yes, it is a foul.
I believe it was Blakeney who had been baseline, was ready to cut him off. And then Sutherland, he kind of just peeled off and Sutherland was left chasing him and then was forced to reach in. Not sure what exactly happened there now. The inbounds down low, good defense here by Blakeney. Arm straight up.
He was right in the perfect position as Thomas appeared to have a good lane to the hoop. Sutherland floats.
Push off.
And indeed it is the offensive foul called that time.
Probably one of the easiest calls they'll make tonight.
And Thomas, you can imagine with his size, it isn't too hard to push someone off you, especially if we're talking some of the guards on this team. Back to a single-digit game, 27-18. Jones against Horton, tries to roll out past the defense, trying to cut between, throws up, won't go. Ellenson, the tip, up in the air, and the Express get a fresh 24. Nice effort in the corner that time from Giroux.
Need more compete, though, from the Titans down low. Got to pick up a man and start boxing out.
Jones, the crossover. Giroux, pump fake, drives and misses the left-hand floater. Then Dixon lands awkwardly.
Blakeney that went down hard. Looks no worse for wear, though.
Up quickly, and that'll be Thomas's second foul. So we'll have to see if they make a move, and they will. Shaq Keith is going to check back in at the next dead ball for Windsor. And the big man Thomas has 2 fouls here in the first. Jamar Sutherland against Bennett. Lost the ball. Tony Bennett got in there and scooped it loose. Long pass ahead. Giroux has to curl away from trouble. Ellenson, the J, off the mark. And Sutherland ends up getting that rebound. 30 seconds left. Horton spins, kick out. Morrow, 3, bang! The spin and the assist. Horton picks up the dime, and it's a 6-point game.
Sweet looking play and equally impressive move by Ed Horton. Again in the clear, and a good dish finding Morrow in the corner. Squared up to shoot that 3 and drained it.
Jones now. Horton. 3 seconds left in the quarter. Crossover, block. Horton will heave that one and look out. That's a line drive. Not looking for a home run. That one's off the wall.
Looking at his reaction as he's heading off the floor now towards the bench, I think that was more just out of pent-up frustration. Sending a message with that swat at the top of the arc and just chucking it down the floor. Ed Horton has come to play tonight.
And a big rejection to end that first quarter. 27-21 the score in favor of Windsor.
Mention again, Jason Calise wearing the Troy Tulowitzki jersey along the sidelines at the end of the bench, dealing with some ligament issues in his non-shooting hand, so they're hoping to get him back for game 1 of the playoffs. They don't see it being a long-term issue, but something he's dealing with at the moment, and they would love nothing more to have that sweet shooting hand back in the fold as they go into the postseason.
Warren Ward, the top performer of that opening quarter. 11 points with 9 of them coming via the 3 ball, went 4 for 6 from the field, including the 3 triples. The Titans turned the ball over 8 times in the first 12 minutes. But overall, give them credit fighting back from double-digit deficits multiple times. They'll head into the second, just a 1-possession game. And and they'll get the ball, I believe, to start the second. Coach Langus will send out Tyrone Dixon, George Blakeney, Isaiah Umapeg, Greg Morrow, and checking into the game for the first time today is AJ Davis.
As we're going to see a lot of players here tonight.
Full rotation.
Absolutely. No reason to burn these guys out with extended minutes. But you know what? 3 out of these 5 guys on the floor right now got you within 6 here, so might as well keep it rolling.
Second quarter, set to get underway. Once again, it's Ian and Dan here with you on this Saturday night and wrapping up the regular season and the Titans' inaugural season.
It's been a fun year.
Successful opening season for the Kitchener-Waterloo Titans. Coming in today, 18-21, so a chance to finish the year 3 or 4 games below 500, or maybe even just 2 with a win here tonight. But regardless, the record doesn't matter all that much when it comes to that perspective. It's more about getting in, and they did just that with securing that number 3 seed last week.
Speaking of playoffs, the other matchup here in the NBL Canada tonight, it's Orangeville and Niagara. And that was pretty close heading into the home stretch, but Orangeville has essentially clinched a playoff spot with the River Lions going into the last game here tonight, 2 games back, or a game and a half back rather.
And Orangeville will wrap up their regular season tomorrow, also with a first-round playoff preview. They'll take on London, the 1 versus 4 matchup in the Central Division. There it's Dixon, a nice move in the paint, and the score. 27-23 Express. Ellenson drops off for Maurice Jones. Nice crossover, blows by his defender. Keith, corner 3. And there it is. Back to a 7-point lead. Davis coughs up the basketball. Giroux, Keith lays it in. A quick 5 points for Shaquille Keith, and a quick run has made it a 9-point Windsor lead. Dixon tries to drop it off to Umapeg, got tangled up. Back-to-back turnovers for the Titans. The Express looking to make them pay again. A sloppy start to this second quarter. That's turnovers number 9 and 10 for Kitchener-Waterloo.
And going back to that comment about that other matchup, A's and Niagara, in fact, got to correct that. A's need a victory to seal it, because obviously Niagara will wrap things up tonight, but Orangeville with 2 games or with a game in hand rather, if they were to last the last 2 games.
Do we know about the what the season series is out there?
I'll keep you posted as this play continues.
Very interested, of course, as
season series is at 4-6, or 6-4 rather, in favor. Oh, check that.
Titans foul charge number 7, Isaiah Umapeg, is first personal, team's first. Maurice Jones on the line for the Express.
Jones misses his first free throw there.
if I'm reading it correctly, a win tonight would make it 4-2 in favor of Niagara, which would mean a tied record to end the regular season would put the River Lions into the postseason.
Could you imagine? It's not been a good stretch for Orangeville, having lost the last 2 going into tonight's game.
Ellenson contested 3, drops it in, and that Express lead has reached 13 points.
Nice move there from Winnipeg is, hooked that one in. Fading away from the basket now, a foul call. That was, again, Wally Ellenson attacking the rim. So after that free ball from Ellenson, he heads to the free throw stripe.
So I did an official recount. 3-3 is the season series heading into tonight. So if Orangeville,
even more interesting.
Very interesting. If Orangeville can pull it off, then they have the tiebreaker. However, if Niagara pulls it out, then all the pressure is on the A's tomorrow to have to win in London.
And how's this for a scoreline? 33-29 Niagara at the moment.
That could be quite the collapse in Orangeville, Ontario. Wing misses the three. Tips it up and off the mark that time. Nice play as Giroux tried to bat it home. Davis, the behind the back dribble, flies in. Ellenson had it poke loose, just stood there, and then Winnipeg stepped out of bounds along the sideline. And another KW turnover.
A technical foul has been charged to Windsor's number 11, Maurice Jones. Correction. The technical foul was given to 10. A.J. Davis of the Titans.
38-25, and the technical foul assessed to the Titans.
Adam Blazek returned for the Titans.
3.5 gone in this second quarter, and the Express have come out firing ever since the Titans made it a 6-point game. Giroux has that one swatted away by Flynn Whitfield.
Well, Blazek got a hand in it to strip him loose. Now here he goes.
Winnipeg is watched by Jones, trying to slow down the pace and get some kind of traction for this Titans team. Pulls up for a contested three off the mark. Winnipeg was going to fight for it in the corner, but will roll out of bounds and be Windsor basketball. As important as every contest is, and you know how much of a competitor Coach Langus is, how much do you tell these guys, hey, we've got a playoff series coming up against these guys, we can't move up or down? Out of competitive nature, it's tough to tell them to ease off.
Yeah, I don't think that's part of the conversation at that point. He wants to play this as if it's absolutely meaningful, and in terms of the record, not really important, but when it comes to setting, establishing a culture essentially with his team, he's treating this just as important, as game number one.
Whitfield
comes up limping a little bit.
Blew through, forces the turnover. Blazek, all sorts of time, dishes off. Morrow hesitates and scores. Keep an eye on Winfield. He's walking gingerly back up the court. He's been the anchor for this Titans team, and indeed Blakeney's going to come in.
Yeah. Left leg of Flynn Whitfield. Not a good sign as he's trying to play through this.
He's looking okay, but ends up drawing the foul. Ellenson around the time marker.
Well, doing a good job of setting his own pace there as he's able to stay in front of Ellenson moving up the floor. But he's going to be attended to now, and hopefully nothing too serious for number 33.
Whitfield last week, averaging just under 22 points a game, has taken over the leading scorer mark for the team, averaging about 18.4 points per game on the season. Blazek splits the D, throws it up, won't go.
Tough shot on the running layup attempt by Blazek.
Here's Patillo, he's against the wing. Trying to cross him over, spins up top. Ellenson cutting through, but can't get the layup to drop. Fighting for the second opportunity. Looks like a foul ends up being called. No, it rolled out of bounds. 6:39 to go here in the half.
Valiant effort there by Ellenson, diving for it, but in the end results in Titan basketball.
That time, it's Tony Bennett called for the foul. That'll be his first of the evening.
2 5s going head to head there, and Blazek shaking his head in a bit of frustration. On the foul call, I think a little sooner. Tough screen there from Blakeney.
Blazek, open jumper from the free throw line, but way off the mark. It's just been an ugly second quarter for the Titans.
6 points for, not going to get the job done. Trying to come back in this one.
A 14-6 run to start the second by the Express. It was 27-21. The Titans had a bit of a run of their own to close out the first quarter after they found themselves down by double digits. They've not led tonight. Thomas finds a seam, but can't score in the post. And then Blakeney gets tied up.
Stepped out of bounds.
Indeed, he did look like there was going to be a foul call in contact, but he ran into no one except his own guy. Ends up resulting in the 11th Titans turnover.
Just listening to head coach Bill Jones holler at his troops there. You know it's game number 40 when your voice sounds that raspy, when the yell sounds almost as much as a whisper.
Blazek floats it inside. Oh, Morrow soaring in to lay it in.
Some showtime there from the Titans. A nice lob pass through traffic. Finds Morrow in stride as well. And a good conversion by the rookie.
Bennett wants help from Patillo, pulls up from way deep, and he's way off.
Missed everything there, and that'll get a reaction from the crowd now, and as well as a timeout on the floor with 5:34 to go in the first half.
We knew this was going to be interesting in the sense that it is game number 40 of 40 with nothing too much to play for, but my oh my, it's been a rough second quarter for the Titans after they showed some life in their step in that opening quarter towards the end. They made a charge, made it a 2-possession game, and I think the big thing right now for Titans fans is the health of Flynn Whitfield.
Absolutely, fans holding their breath a little bit, and he's up on his feet right now in that huddle, so looking to be okay from this vantage point, but we'll see whether he gets back in the ball game. I'm sure they'll want to give him some minutes to at least test that leg out a little bit. But neither team shooting particularly well, both at 37%. But the Titans with just 8 points this quarter, tough to mount a comeback with just single digits scored. And they are certainly having an advantage with the 7 extra bench points. Contributions from their secondary unit, always a bonus. And we've had that here tonight. And as we always like to encourage our viewers, as we've done for every home game, make sure to contribute your comments, your feedback, your thoughts on tonight's ball game through the live chat section on your viewer. The beauty of YouTube at your fingertips.
One other matchup that we haven't really touched on, St. John and the Island Storm will face off. Also in the first round, the 2-3 matchup. The Storm had a brutal end of the season, gruesome schedule. We saw that here last week.
Certainly was.
A back-to-back-to-back, including a stretch where they had to play in Sydney one night, travel to Ontario, and then to face off against a couple tough teams, play the Titans, Lightning, and then the Express all in one trip, then have to head home and wrap up the regular season on the road as well. So they'll certainly enjoy that week off before the postseason starts.
To say the least. Whereas KW, they had it pretty easy with respect to the traveling anyways.
As far as April has gone, very home-friendly for the Titans. They have that East Coast trip to start the month. They're closing out things at home, send out April. Blazek flying in the end one opportunity and a 3-point play to bring it back.
5 of the last 6 games of the season at home for KW.
best of 5 first-round series. So the Titans guaranteed at least one home playoff game on Wednesday, May 10th.
Yeah, I think that split at the very least also important, I think.
Certainly don't want to have to play the rest of the series in elimination games, and that's what makes these best of 5s interesting, but also so stressful for fans and players. And as you mentioned, not really many blowout games this season in their inaugural year. That's something that Coach Langus talked about, that if they play as a team unit, he feels like they can compete with any team that's thrown at them. They missed that time from Duncan.
Yeah, their ugliest loss of the season, the 22-pointer, was pretty bad. Traveling to St. John, and a big L by the Riptide.
And that game had some extra dramatics, to say the least. A game that wasn't even finished. So I'm sure the Titans are more than willing to put that one behind them. Adam Wing knocks down the triple all of a sudden. A 2-possession game again. Let's see if they can rally off it. Ward, he's against Sutherland. Pulls up for 3 and drops it in. And the Express seem to do that every time the Titans have mounted any sort of comeback.
They've had that response, and that's what really sets good teams apart.
A 6-point game to a 9-point game. Blazek against Ward, gets that screen from Blakeney, rolls out, drop pass. Thought about it. Wing fresh off the made 3, looking for a second one, but way off. And then Blakeney will put that one on the blooper reel.
I was shaking my head and looking over at Coach Langus right afterwards. He was doing the same thing. I've never seen anything like that.
That's your Sports Center worst play of the day, folks. Tough one, as Blakeney couldn't get the putback.
I really have no words.
Haven't seen something like that before. Sutherland going end to end, and he will head to the free throw line, and you see Blakeney slamming that ball in frustration, and understandably so. With that, we'll get our first look of the night. Noel Moffat, the Memorial University alumni, played in good old St. John's, Newfoundland, with the Buys.
Some good East Coast pride there.
Always want to get out to the Rock.
Kiss the cod. That's as good as it's going to get for a Newfoundland accent, I'm sorry.
It's acceptable. Sutherland the miss, and there for the board was Stutz. Former Niagara River Lion, making his way to the starting 5 here for the Express. Moffat dishing off to Ward. Ward trying to cross up. Horton pulls up for a long 2, won't go. Moffat gets the rebound. Second opportunity.
Boy, what a good story he is, eh? I guess we can go into more detail as the play continues, but
Sutherland, long pass. Horton lays it in, gets around Moffat. 2 points, once again back to a 2-possession game. 44-38, Windsor with the lead, and just over 2 minutes to play here in the opening half. Duncan pulls up. That shot too strong. Now Blazek pushing in transition. Thought about pulling up, instead dishes out. Sutherland pulls up for 2 and drops it in. 4-point game. It's the closest that the Titans have been in the quarter. 44-40. Ward. Gets that screen from Giroux. Ward throws it up and lays it in. Nice one-on-one move. A minute and a half to play here in the first half. 46-40, the Express have the lead here on a Saturday night from Kitchener. Both teams playing playing game 40 out of 40. You mentioned the Titans closing out the season with 5 of 6 on their home courts. Stutz, pump fake, and then draws the foul as Horton had to reach. The Titans, however, had a few fouls to give. After this, they'll have just one. Winnipeg going to check into end the half. Blazek takes a seat. Greg Morrow getting some extended minutes tonight. Made the highlight reel earlier with that nice finish off the lob from Blazek. Just over 1 minute to go in the half. It's Ward against Morrow. Ward steps back off the crossover and drops it in. My, oh my. What a first half for Warren Ward. My apologies there. That was actually Ward who is picking up 18 points now in the first half. Strong output from him. Blakeney steps into one. Won't go. Ward 7 for 10 from the field. 4 of those coming from beyond the arc. About a 5.8 second differential game clock, shot clock. Titans should get the ball back. Ward working in on Morrow, throws it up, won't go. Ball's loose. Blakeney gets 2 hands on it. Winnipeg for 3 at the buzzer. Well, we talked about how much the Titans want to make it a 2-possession game near the end of that first quarter, so based on how things began to unravel in this frame, I guess they have to find themselves fortunate to only be down by 6 here.
Absolutely. They certainly dug themselves into a hole, to say the least, and now with it being a 2-possession game, they can hold their heads up a little higher going into the halftime break. I'm just a little bit more bummed out. I'm going to have to hold off on the Moffat story until the second half.
Well, we'll keep you tuned, folks. Just under 15 minutes to go. We'll tell you all about Noel Moffat. We'll tell you all about Warren Ward and his 18 points in the half as the Express up 6 after the first 24 minutes. 6-point game as we are set to begin the second half here at the Kitchener Memorial Auditorium. Tough start to the second quarter.
Certainly do, but they'll be looking for more, I think, from Mr. Adam Blazek, who was just recognized at halftime, securing his 100th three-pointer made for the season. And that's he came into tonight's ballgame ranked 7th in the NBL Canada in that stat category, so congratulations to him.
Whitfield to miss, and what's been a relatively to extremely quiet night. Now 0 for 4 from the field and has not scored.
Missed the bulk of the second quarter as well after he got dinged up a little bit.
Whitfield though.
Same leg too as he looks over at the bench, kind of shaking his head, maybe even at the official.
Ends up getting his first points of the evening. Of course, as you mentioned, missed the majority of that second quarter. To be a famous lower body injury.
This time of year especially.
Especially this time of year. The miss that time from Patillo. Ball straight up in the air, gets it back, walks inside, can't get it over Whitfield. Loose ball, back in the hand, Stutz for three. Won't go. Blazek finally able to extinguish that fire that is the Windsor Express. Wing, the pump fake, the drive, and lays it in, plus the foul. Adam Wing a chance for a three-point play.
A good head fake there to get Stutz in chase mode. Trying to catch up to Wing, and he made it a little more difficult for himself as I thought he was almost rejected there by the rim itself, but with a spin on the basketball, worked in his favor and fell in for the layup. Now he's got a chance at a three-point play.
Just under 2 minutes in the second quarter. Wing completes the three-point play. That time it's Duncan throwing that ball away. He was looking for the entry pass to Shaq Keith in the post, but now KW a chance to make it a one-point game or tie it. Whitfield backing in on Stutz in the post. Whitfield put the ball down. No, looked like he turned it over, but it's actually a foul going to be called on Stutz.
Former MVP now, league MVP in Stutz, hasn't averaged less than 16 points a game since coming over from Niagara.
Whitfield, quick score right off the inbounds, 4 points to start the half, and it's a one-point game, 50-49. This is the closest the Titans have been since the opening seconds of the ball game. Stutz drives, kicks out. Board off the screen, thought about it. Stutz flies in, misses the shot. Second follow-up, and Patillo on the third effort makes it 52-49. But Whitfield on the other end, the coast-to-coast finish. 6 quick points for him. Once again, keeping the Titans within a single point. Patillo pulls up over Whitfield. Can't get it to drop. Duncan, though, able to get a hand in there, generates the second opportunity. Keith, corner, Trey, no good. Still fighting for it, though, Patillo. He's the league's leading rebounder. And that's going to be an awfully big test for this Titans team in the first round of the playoffs.
Got to put a body on him. Titans doing a poor job of boxing out. They have to check, pick up a man, and put body to body. Way too easy in the paint right now for the Express.
Ward throws it away. Being a foul that time called on Blazek. It's actually on Wing, my apologies. That's his first of the evening. Horton has 3 for the Titans, is the only one to reach that mark. A couple with 2 for Windsor. DeAndre Thomas had to take an early seat after picking up 2 fouls in the first quarter. We have not seen him since. Ward, though, the story in this one with 18 points. Looking to add to that. The pass, and he'll get an assist that time. That'll be his third dime of the ball game. So now it's 56-51 Express. Blazek, though, flips it up. Count it. And a chance for a three-point play for Blazek.
Pretty finger roll there, midair. Had a nice touch and looking to execute now with the free throw coming up. Touching on Warren Ward there for a second. 4 or 5 from beyond the arc in that opening first half. Off to a blazing start.
And waiting for 19 home games to drop that one.
Sure. Let's go with it.
Duncan, washed by Umapeg. Moves it down inside. Here's Stutz backing in against Horton. The turnaround jumper won't go. Loose ball, diving for it was Wing. Trying to save it, but it will stay an Express ball. It never hit the rim, so it will be just 4 seconds for the Express to get a shot off.
Stutz pleading his case that there was some contact on his right arm as he went up to shoot that. Horton's hands look straight up though from this vantage point.
That time Patillo was looking for that entry pass to Stutz. Wing broke it up, and that was all that the Titans needed for that shot clock to wind down. Expired, Titans ball.
Nice
and a
stop
2-point game. Chance to tie or take the lead here. Titans have not led today. Blazek against Ward there. Almost slips by him. Wing, corner three for the lead. And there it is, 57-56. Adam Wing gives the Titans their first lead of the evening. He's got 9 points. Stutz trying to respond right back, though. That one's in and out. Titans now looking to stretch the lead. Umapeg, watched by Duncan, leaves it. Woodfield, transition three, won't go. Horton fighting for that loose ball, but he'll let it roll out of bounds, and it'll be Windsor basketball.
Well, it took them 29 minutes, but they were able to finally get their first lead of the ball game, as you mentioned. Off a nice 3-ball from Wing in the corner.
It looks like they actually scored that one. A long 2.
Fully on the line, I suppose.
Duncan lobs it up. Patillo, that one would have been way out of his reach. Now Blazek, the transition 3, and that one will indeed be a triple. No foot on the line, and no question there, as Kitchener-Waterloo takes their first lead of the evening, 59-56.
Number 101 on the season for Adam Blazek. Nice to have that in the arsenal, that pull-up 3.
Patillo turned the ball over. Horton in transition, lays it in with the left hand. It's a 7-0 Titans run.
And Blazek goes from dropping buckets to making dimes there on the nice pass, one bounce pass over to Horton.
Duncan drops it off. Patillo lays it in. Darren Duncan assists number 3 tonight. Patillo in double figures, 13 points. Umapeg trying to cross him over, drops it off. Whitfield lost the basketball. That's turnover number 14 for Kitchener-Waterloo. Patillo spinning into the corner. Keith, open 3, bang. That ties it at 61.
Again, Windsor with the response as they've had time and again here this evening. Start with a good collapse down low and a foul off the ball. It's going to be Whitfield.
Whitfield, the offensive foul. He ran over Logan Stutz.
And Whitfield's going to go take a break as who's going to be coming on. Morrow's taking off his warm-up shirt. I think it's going to be number 12.
We've seen the extended minutes from Morrow. And he was one of the guys that we talked about a lot at the beginning of the year. Didn't make necessarily as big of an impact as many of us expected, but overall proved to be very valuable at times for this team. And had the opportunity to get hot off the bench, and he did just that. If you had to assess what we made of Greg Morrow's season, what would you have to say about it?
Well, it's one of those things where he's just trying to find himself in this league, I think, too. It's one thing to say how talented he is, because quite frankly he is, but it's another for him to start converting that into success in the National Basketball League of Canada. And I think he's learning that as he goes along here. And Coach Langus, I'm sure, has drilled it into him, saying, you know, it's one thing to think you're going to be successful, but you have to put the work in. And granted, you know, watching practices and watching his efforts when he's on the floor, he certainly has put that intestinal fortitude every game he's been out there. Hasn't turned into the flashy points in the points for category, but it's going to come, and hopefully it will be with the Titans in the coming games, if not next season or two.
It'll be Blakeney checking into the game along with Morrow, Sutherland, Wing, and Umapeg also joining them for the Titans. It'll be Duncan, Patillo, Stutz, Ward, and Keith, the same 5 for Windsor.
Yeah. And going back to Morrow for a second, 5-time OUA All-Star, former All-Canadian too, but he moves to a league where essentially you're playing against a league of All-Stars in their own right too, whether they're coming over from other teams in youth sports or the OUA or playing NCAA 1 or D2 ball.
Or in one case, even a 16th overall pick in the NBA.
Exactly right.
Umapeg the miss. Patillo in transition. It's Keith left open for the 3. But he can't get that one to drop. Blakeney had that one in his hands. Keith fights for the ball back. 3rd opportunity for the Express. It's Patillo with the J. Can't drop it in. Will the Express get a 4th opportunity? No. It's Wing getting to the loose ball. 61-61. Here's Isaiah Umapeg. Morrow looking for that feed pass down low. Blakeney flips it up.
Would that have counted? I think it would have.
He got that one off about as quick as you can possibly think.
No, they're going to say it was on the floor baseline. Cheeky move there, though, by Blakeney.
Stutz and Duncan check out. Thomas back in for Windsor. Picked up 2 fouls early in the first. Did not see the floor in the second. Morrow off the inbound. Trying to work around. Ward drives by him, the reverse, and the score. Nice move with the right hand there from Greg Morrow.
Making something out of nothing in that instance. Hemmed in the corner, but saw a glimmer of light, went for it, and a nice reverse layup when all is said and done.
Jones over to Keith in the corner, watched by Morrow. Keith almost lost the ball, 2 to shoot. Keith throws it up, won't go. That shot did not hit the rim, so it will not count. He did not get the second effort off in time.
And that's what head coach is going to love. Not only do you see a great layup on one end of the floor, Morrow can be credited for that great defensive effort, one-on-one, and that was a good 10 seconds off the shot clock there in that sequence.
Umapeg, the left-hand dribble, cuts it down low. Wing trying to slice through defense up top. Umapeg drives, flips it up, can't get it to roll. In and out that time from Umapeg, who is looking to make it a 2-score game. Ward, the transition 3 won't go. Patillo flies in, but can't corral the board. Sutherland in transition, he's got Morrow with him, but's gonna take it himself, flip it up with the right hand, and make it a 65-61 Kitchener-Waterloo lead.
The biggest lead of the game, if I'm not mistaken, at this point.
It is.
But Ward, after being red hot from long range, missing the 3-pointer, and results in points the other way for KW.
Thomas against Blakeney and drops it in off a nice move in the post. 7 points now for Thomas. Sutherland to step back 2, won't go. Morrow fighting for that rebound, but it's Ward who comes away with it. Ward crosses over, kick out. Keith hesitates. 2 fouls coming up as it's Tremar Sutherland who's going to get charged for the block.
Shaq Keith going to the free throw line. Former Kilgore College Ranger. But more importantly, with Canadian viewers anyways, a native of Brampton, Ontario.
Also spent some time with Cape Breton University.
I think we touched on that the last time Windsor made the trip into KW.
If I'm not mistaken, he spent some of the year with Cape Breton before eventually being traded near the end of February.
Exactly right.
Windsor.
So these additions that the Express have made certainly fortified this roster.
Let's not forget, to start the year, they had a dreadful start. They were they lost 11 of their first 16 games. But battled back. At one point went on a 6-game winning streak in March.
What did they say about it being a long season? Nice bucket there from Ed Horton.
Horton got bumped, dropped it in. A chance for a 3-point play and trying to restore that 4-point KW lead. Horton the miss off the free throw though this year. He's hit about 87% of his free throws, but tonight in particular struggled. 1 for 3 that time.
Thomas off the
tied
ball.
up.
I think it's is that number 4 for Thomas there? Number 3 here.
That'll be number 3 on him.
Yes.
Came back into the game with 2. Juan Patillo already a double-double. 13 points, 12 rebounds for him, and he's done it pretty quietly. Especially we talked about him throughout the game. It's been the likes of Warren Ward that we've really paid attention to from the Express. Shaquille Keith has shipped in with 16 points, so those 3 guys have been firing at all cylinders for Windsor.
Talk about depth. And when you have a trio like those guys, no wonder they went on the run that they did and really finished strong when they added Keith, even more so.
Patillo, Ward, and Keith have combined for 47 of Windsor's 64 points. Jones over to Bennett, who's back into the game. Thomas up top, back to Jones. Pulls up for 3. Won't get it to drop. Good look with the shot clock winding down inside the 2-minute mark of the third quarter. Sutherland takes a step inside, throws it up. 2 free throws coming up for Sutherland.
Another good take, exactly what you want to do. 1 possession game, stay aggressive. And checking out that other all-important game tonight in the NBL Canada, 57-56. Close one between the A's and River Lions in the third, with the third just underway at 10:21 to go in that third quarter.
57-56. River
Lions.
Ooh.
My apologies. Cliffhanger. We're allowed to scoreboard watch too, are we not?
Of course.
Not just the players.
Stutz for 3. That's short. Stutz, of course, got the change of scenery. It's been last year with Niagara. That time he scores on his second opportunity of that possession, back to a 1-point game. Blakeney into the corner. Morrow drives, pulls up, but can't connect on that baseline, Jay.
Bit of a fadeaway there from Morrow. Didn't work out for him.
Express looking to retake the lead. Jones along 2, won't go.
Excellent job by the Titans, keeping it on the perimeter. Nothing down low.
Blakeney backing in against Stutz in the post. Can't get that baby hook shot to go. Patillo and Ellenson is down for Windsor.
Still trying to get up and limping. I think it's that right leg he's favoring a little bit.
Bennett misses the 3. He's trying to play through it though.
35 seconds left in the quarter. Can the Titans take advantage? In fact, they're going to get burned for a foul now.
It's actually a carry called on Morrow. Took one too many steps before putting the ball on the floor in the midst of dribbling, so.
I stand corrected, but boy, when was the last time, if ever, we've seen that?
I don't think we've seen that all season.
I don't think so either.
He do it when he's going one-on-one with an injured player at the least.
Well, you want to take it right at that individual, and like he did, but.
No need to make that mistake.
I think he was licking his chops in that matchup. A little too much, obviously.
The differential is around 9.5 seconds.
How's that for a response, though? Ellison up on his feet, drains the 3 ball.
Ellison's second triple of the night. That's a big one.
He might be okay.
I'd say so. Ellison, now 86 three-pointers on the year. Makes it 69-67 Windsor. Blakeney, though, offensive rebound. Gets it to drop. We're all leaving as we head to the fourth quarter.
You were holding your breath there, I think.
69-69. Studs in the last second heave. Couldn't get it to drop. Quarter number 4, though. Looks like it's going to be a good one.
Titans outscored the Express 25-18 as they chipped into the Express lead and now have tied it up at 69 apiece. They were leading it at one point finally in this ball game. Haven't been able to say that at any point. But helped by the likes of Ed Horton as well as 12 rebounds. George Blakeney putting double digits on the glass. Not to mention that blazing 2 of 3 from beyond the arc with 12 points to co-lead the team in that scoring category. Mark Sutherland also in double digits, 10 points, 5 rebounds. And for those tuning in from Windsor who might not tune in all too regularly, it's a usual occurrence here as they pull out the kids on the floor, get them active, and mix it up between the chicken dance and the YMCA. It's been going strong with the 70s disco recently. What a great way to engage the crowd here at the Memorial Auditorium. And always just fun to watch, quite frankly.
Of course.
You see Titus, the team mascot, out there doing his part, but glad you're tuning in here on YouTube this evening. The swan song of the regular season for both teams. KW looking to wrap up with a victory in a series and matchup rather that Windsor has dominated this season. Maybe send a bit of a message over to the Express as they will go head-to-head in that first round in BL Canada playoff series. And going through that schedule, these two teams will hook up again pretty darn soon as they'll get together again on the 5th, 7 p.m. tip-off, and then again on the 7th. That's a matinee affair at 2 p.m. And they'll make their way back here to Kitchener for game number 3, 7 p.m.
My, oh my, are we ever expecting a strong turnout for that one. First home playoff game in franchise history.
Wow, that would be outstanding. I'm sure they'll be going full court press, no pun intended, for getting as many bodies in the seats as possible for that matchup. Teams average just around that 1,500 mark, I think, for the season, which is pretty good in its own right for a rookie campaign. But hey, it's playoffs, baby. Got to get this place loud.
Always important.
Or even louder, I should say.
Stutz picks up foul number 4. Him and Thomas both at that mark. Horton misses the long 2. It's Patillo, Jones, Bennett, Stutz, and Ellenson on the court for Windsor. Tie ball, 69-69. Ellenson for the lead, the miss, and he hits the floor hard again.
Boy, he's having a rough go, isn't he?
Davis going coast to coast.
With authority, A.J. Davis. I haven't mentioned his name all too much, but we say it pretty loudly in that instance as he puts an exclamation mark on that basket.
2-point lead, Patillo crosses over, beats Dixon, scores, and count it.
There you saw head coach Bill Jones kind of leading into that one, trying to give it a bit more help on the roll, but finds the bottom of the bucket, and Patillo with a chance to finish off the 3-point play himself now.
Nice move by Patillo right after it was Davis left all alone to go coast to coast. Chance for a 3-point play and the lead. Patillo. 16 points, 14 rebounds. Blakeney against Stutz in the post. Won't go. Loose ball. Patillo has to crowd along the baseline. Fighting for it was Dixon, but he ends up putting the ball in the painted area.
They're going to say that Dixon, I think, stepped out of bounds their baseline. Oh, Blakeney was in fact out of bounds. And just to touch on John Skinner's question there online, they haven't formally announced the attendance here tonight. They typically do so midway through the fourth, but we'll certainly keep you posted when that comes up.
Stutz the drive and the miss to the left hand. Now the Titans with numbers the other way. Davis going coast to coast. Little Euro step in the finish.
That was definitely close to being a walk there.
Very close.
Certainly sold the Euro step, as you said.
73-72, and some Express fans behind us yelling, that's a travel.
I think they might have a case on that one.
They might. Horton, pass inside. Blakeney trying to go to work in the post, but he turned it over. Patillo, little 2-on-1, steps around and scores. Patillo now with 18 points and 15 rebounds. A monster night for him. Warren Ward had 18 first half points, but has not found a score sheet since then. Horton, the left-hand shot, gets it to drop.
That's a tough go, but down low. But Ed Horton making it work.
Absolutely, and they're exchanging leads here. 75-74, as now KW out on top.
And it's Ellenson heading off for Windsor. Well-deserved rest for him.
Absolutely, after looked like potential injury, ends up hitting a big three, and good performance from him over the last 5-7 minutes.
And Dixon might have gotten a partial swat on that.
Davis crosses over past Jones, lost the basketball, but it will stay with the Titans.
Credit Maurice Jones there, only 5'7", 165, but some good active hands swatting it loose, at least allowing his defense to reset here. And an offensive foul now on Ed Horton, as again it's Jones in the mix.
Offensive foul charged to Titans number 3, Ed Horton, his fourth personal.
Horton picks up his fourth of the game. Titans have produced 40 of their points in the paint, despite Flynn Whitfield only scoring those 6 points in a matter of what seemed like seconds in the early stages of that third quarter. Haven't relied a whole lot on outside shooting, just 6 3-pointers tonight for the Titans, rather low by their standard. That time it's Stutz flying in for the one-hand jam. And Windsor up one.
And I don't know how much we'll see, if any at all, of Flynn Whitfield for the rest of this evening. That one's knocked out of bounds.
Doesn't seem like a risk worth taking for a player of his caliber at such a delicate time of the season.
Well, you can certainly argue one player doesn't make a team, but boy, has he ever been a catalyst for this offense, as there's another turnover for KW.
Morrow threw it to no one, and Dixon gets back for the block, but they're going to have to count it. Dixon admire the effort. He's frustrated, but my oh my, did he ever look like he had a chance at getting to that one. The lead increases to 3, but what an effort that time from Dixon.
Good hustle there, and was that ever LeBron-esque to
look like that LeBron block on Iguodala in Game 7. Umapeg for 3, bang, tie game, 78-78.
And Isaiah Umapeg has been slow to get going here tonight. 7 points now, though, with that latest 3.
Duncan, the step back and the make. 80-78, Darren Duncan, relatively quiet tonight, just 4 points for him. He's been on the floor a lot. Davis, the miss, gets his own rebound and scores that time.
Rewarded for staying around and working hard for that loose ball. A.J. Davis with another bucket.
The Express have dominated the offensive glass tonight. 16 offensive rebounds compared to the Titans' 9. That time a big one for Davis. The turnover on the other end as Jones gets called for the travel.
And head coach Bill Jones is incredulous there, giving the official an earful.
Whitfield. Sutherland. Whitfield now against Ellenson, pulls up and drops in the 2. Nice play from Glenn Whitfield.
Well, we stand corrected, back in the fold now, and
You might have heard us, Coach Langus, puts him back in the game, 4th quarter.
he doesn't listen to this. Come on now.
Bennett for 3.
Oh, so cool. Ice in the veins there for Bennett as he just strolled back after draining that shot. Smooth stroke.
1 point lead again, 83-82.
If this is an indication of how this first round playoff series is going to be, it's going to be a tight affair and certainly very entertaining.
Less than 7 minutes to play here in regulation. It's a 1 point Windsor Express lead. Bennett, the long 3, drains it. Tony Bennett leads up to 4, and a travel called on A.J. Davis. Took a step before he put the ball on the floor, and that'll be turnover number 20 for Kitchener-Waterloo. That time, the 3 was way off the mark from Bennett after draining that deep one. Last possession, Davis holds up, wing the corner 3. No good. Davis trying to bat it up in the air, ends up going out of bounds, and a foul going to be called.
On Davis, I do believe.
I believe so, even though it looked like he had a Windsor player draped all over him for that rebound. Indeed, Davis picks up foul number 3. Him and Sutherland are both playing with 3 on the floor, while Stutz is playing with 4 for the Express.
But for the most part, both teams playing pretty disciplined, especially in this quarter. KW with 3 fouls to give. Windsor with 5.
Duncan, the drive, throws it up, lays it in. Darren Duncan, 6 point game. Whitfield against Stutz, spins left hand and scores.
Good footwork there for Glenn Whitfield on Stutz.
Whitfield with double digits now at 10. Duncan wants help from Bennett. He's watched by Blazek. Bennett trying to take it himself, but the foul called on Whitfield, it appears, if not Blazek. No, it is going to be on Blazek. He wanted a travel call.
Did. Pretty emphatic about that with the official. His first personal of the game. 5:24 to go. I think we have a timeout coming up on the floor here.
Indeed it is. We are past the halfway mark of the 4th. 88-84. Windsor will have the basketball when we come back, but Glenn Whitfield checking back into the game. If that doesn't tell you how much of a competitor and how fierce head coach Serge Langus is when it comes to every game, even number 40 out of 40 on the regular season with nothing to play with. That doesn't speak volumes for his level of competition. I don't know what does.
The intensity level, you certainly have to appreciate, but it goes back to the whole establishing a culture with his team too, and it starts with the head coach. So you want to set a good precedent, as this is always entertaining. The half-court $1,000 attempt, and just a little shy there. Looked online. We've seen worse, I think.
Oh,
Mr.
for
Joger.
Sure. We certainly have.
KW looking to wrap up the season with a 3-game win streak.
As are the Express.
As are the Express, exactly right.
Nice moment by the Titans in their final regular season game to take a moment and honor all the volunteers that go together, putting together not just the Titans home games, but the franchise as a whole, and what a terrific game day experience they've created here at the Odd this season.
Bennett with the first free throw here made.
Bennett
looking to make it a 6-point lead. He will do so.
Hasn't been particularly strong either, just 65% at the line this season. Drops in both, 90 to 84. Sutherland's pass is tipped, and Patillo has it in transition. Bennett, nice pass, and Patillo finishing it off. Two-hand jam, he's got 20. Go along with his 15 boards.
What a night for him. Just keeps on putting up numbers, doesn't he?
Wing, Sutherland. Nice move off the assist from Adam Wing, 92-86.
Juan Patillo is certainly a force in this league.
Bennett the three, won't go. Two-possession game still. Winnipeg's pass to Whitfield, takes himself, pulls up off the window and off the mark.
Plenty of time here, can't afford to play pull-up basketball here. KW Titans gotta move the ball, find the open man.
Duncan, left-hand dribbles, floats that one. Patillo against Whitfield.
Ooh.
Tries to go by him and ends up getting called for the travel.
Oh yeah, Bird Whitfield there for with the crossover. That was a nasty-looking dribble there on Whitfield. And fortunately got a little ahead of himself even on the play.
Such a nice crossover that he traveled. It was so nice it wasn't allowed. 92-86, Windsor with the lead. Whitfield fortunate to not get burned on that last crossover for sure, but regardless, he's on the floor. That's what the Titans need in situations like this. Whitfield against Patillo, and that time he can't win that one-on-one battle either. And my oh my, is that ever going to be something to watch in a best-of-5 series, how those two match up.
Can't wait.
Duncan against Umapeg. Left-hand dribble, throws it up and gets it to drop. Umapeg, wing, thought about it, and said it's Blazik. 8-point game. Whitfield drives in left hand, and the score. Whitfield cuts in the lead, still plenty of time, but you start getting those defensive stops.
Whitfield slashing down low, and even with Patillo collapsing in on him, getting it up just in time.
Patillo drops in the two. 22 points for Mr. Juan Patillo.
This is a dandy matchup right here. You got probably the two best players on the floor right now, and Patillo and Whitfield going one-on-one. As Whitfield takes it right at him.
A little one-hand runner from Whitfield, drops it in. Two-possession game once again. Two and a half to go. Ward for three, no good.
And a KW foul on the floor.
It's on Sutherland, it appears. That'll be his fourth.
And timeout on the floor as well.
Indeed. Coach Jones wants to talk things over. 96-90. The Titans are certainly in it. All game long, we've seen Windsor take a few double-digit leads, but overall the Titans have done a good job cutting back into it. But in the fourth here, it just seems to be a matter on the defensive end, whether it's turning the ball over or giving these second opportunities to the Express. They just haven't been able to match them quite in the same intensity.
7 more turnovers for the Titans here tonight, 21 in total. That's way too much. But you essentially have a reversal here in this fourth quarter versus the third. 27-21. Windsor currently outscoring KW, and that's really the difference. The 6 points right there, 96-90 is where we sit. KW needs to get a couple stops and go on a bit of a run here to close things out if they intend to getting their 19th victory of the year. And we certainly appreciate the feedback from the live chat here on YouTube. And John, thanks so much for the compliment. Glad you've been tuning in, as to everyone tuning in for today's season finale, regular season finale from Kitchener. And we'll be back for game number 3 as these two teams will come back for some more playoff action this time around. And we'll throw it to our broadcast partners down in Windsor for games number 1 and 2.
And another update from the Meridian Center, 82-71. The River Lions with an 11-point lead over Orangeville. So
going into the 4th.
A River Lions win.
It's gonna be a good finish.
River Lions win means that it's
all
up to Orangeville. Winning, they're in tomorrow at Bud Gardens. If not, they're packing up, and it'll be.
And you'd have to assume that Niagara's probably feeling pretty good with Orangeville. If they're able to hold on for a win themselves and then see Orangeville head to London, oh baby.
The fans in St. Catharines, you can imagine tomorrow will be big London Lightning fans if things play out.
Bust out the yellow and black for at least one day.
98-92, a minute and a half to play. Umapeg called for the reach. That was the last foul that the Titans have to give in the half. And Windsor has stayed out of foul trouble in the 4th. They have 5 more fouls to give. 1:33 to go. Ward inbounding with 14 on the shot clock. Duncan against Ed Horton, who's fresh in the game for Umapeg after picking up that foul. Patillo drives, floats, and the rare miss from Patillo. Have to capitalize if you're the Titans that time. Whitfield draws the foul. Duncan uses one of those 5 that they had to give.
Slows things down. Good job there to allow the defense to collect itself and get back to its side of center. But looking at Windsor, only shooting 40%, although they've thrown up 94 shots here this evening to KW's 80.
Ward is out. Keith is back in. 1:20 to play, and it's Horton in this 6-point game here in Kitchener.
Anyway, as they're getting at, that's where the turnovers come into play. More offensive opportunities for the Windsor Express has resulted in this current 6-point lead down in the stretch run.
Duncan, 4th foul, picks up 2 in about 5 seconds. So now all of a sudden they only have 3 fouls to give. Blazik off the long inbound pass, gets bumped by Bennett. As Hogbat out of the Express had 5 fouls to give, they've just used about 3 of those in the span of 10 seconds. Titans inching their way closer and closer to the penalty, but you got to think that might have been part of Bill Jones's mantra in that last timeout. They'll play physical. We've got a lot of fouls to get before they get any free points. Horton off the inbound. He's watched by Keith, tries to drive him around with the left-hand dribble. Loose ball on the floor. Sutherland gets to it. Just 5 to shoot, though. Blazik bumped, and there's 4 fouls in 1 possession against the Windsor Express. They only have 1 more to give now. More importantly, you give KW 14 seconds to shoot, but with time winding down, 101. Can't be looking to use all that. They need some quick points. Whitfield leaves it for Horton. 10 to shoot. Blazik, quick release 3. Won't drop. And there is Mr. Juan Patillo, rebound number 16. 45 seconds to go, and now the Express can start to take their time. A 2-possession game, but all pressure on the Titans. They have no fouls to give. Whitfield in there. The double team. Keith almost had that ball intercepted. It will go back to Windsor as Horton was trying to fly to the passing lane, and it'll be 3 seconds on the shot clock.
Just a millisecond too late on that one. It got a piece of the basketball, but just not enough to go in for the clear layup as the shot clock winds down. But a foul call, I believe, just before the horn went.
Duncan split the D, and it looks like Sutherland reached in.
So that's his 5th.
That'll put them in the penalty. So it was a 2-possession game, but now a chance to put this one in the fridge. Duncan stepping to the free throw line. On the season, Duncan's shooting 71%.
Windsor came into this one 5-1 against KW, and with this free throw, you can all but book it 6-1, barring any sort of miracle here, which I won't be holding my breath on. But a slow start really has come back to haunt the KW Titans here today. Dug themselves out of a hole, and in fact came all the way back and took the lead at one point. Turnovers, though, played a factor certainly. Contribution from the bench for Windsor, 37-26, outscoring KW in that category. All add up to what will be win number 21 for the Express. And really a microcosm of their season too. You know, it's finish strong. It's how you finish, right? So kudos to the Windsor Express for finding the pieces to the puzzle, and now they'll head into game number 1 on a 3-game win streak. And again, that game number 1, for those who might just be tuning in for the latter stages of this one, will be taking place on Wednesday.
Titans, regardless, have won 5 of the last 7 coming into tonight, so they'll enter with 5 out of 8, but it certainly hurts to not get last game of the regular season close out on a strong note, but it's all clean and new next Friday. Enjoy 6 days off.
It's a whole new season.
Blazik, quick release 3 off the inbound, drops it in.
Maybe I spoke too soon, eh?
195, and I'd like to think so. It's Stutz who draws the foul off the inbounds. It was Wing who intentionally fouled him. A 5-point game. Blazik now 18 points on the night, leads all Titans. Stutz, though, no good on number 1, so even a make here keeps it at a 2-possession game. Good on both, and Coach Langus has been saving these. He's going to use his second timeout. He'll have 1 more remaining if they need it. 101-95. They're looking for another play off the inbounds. Are they going back to Adam Blazik?
I wouldn't be too shocked at this point. That was number 102 for the Adam Blazik 3-pointer count. 3 here tonight to lead his team in that category. 15 points to pace the offense as well, to go along with 6 rebounds. But on the flip side, you got George Blakeney doing a job, not putting up the points, but boys, he doing it with the rebounds. 13 this evening, but really it's the Juan Patillo show. 22-16 on the stat sheet for him, and you have 5 players in double digits in total for Windsor. We're on board with 18, with all of those, in fact, though, coming in the first half. He's been really a non-factor in this 3rd and 4th quarter. But Patillo certainly picked him up with the 22 points. Not to mention Shaq Keefe with 16 of his own and 16 and 8.
Winnipeg gets it into Horton. There's 25 seconds left. Keith pokes the ball loose. Horton has to re-find his footing. Horton drives, goes up, and travels. That's a undisciplined, unveteran move from Ed Horton. Loses the ball off the inbounds and then travels.
Sequence there, to say the least. Bit of confusion on the floor.
need a turnover off the inbounds. They're going to have to burn another intentional foul and
do just that. But like you said, uncharacteristic of Ed Horton. Been around this game for a while, and the NBL for a while too. I think the Windsor Express are going to call a timeout here as well. They've got one left. After these free throws, that is.
Bennett.
Hold on to it, why not?
Drops in the second. It's an 8-point game. Winnipeg drives, flips in the easy 2. Clock will stop at the 6-point game. No fouls to give. Blazek pokes the ball loose, gets it back into the corner. Winnipeg, 3, way off the mark. Loose ball. And that time they'll get to it. Ward will dribble the clock out. And the Windsor Express torch the Titans in the season series. They take 6 of 7 from Kitchener-Waterloo, and they'll head into the postseason with all the momentum. They have won 3 straight. But regardless, you look up and down these matchups, the Titans and the Express certainly looks to be one heck of a first-round matchup.
If this game was any indicator, these two teams will be going head-to-head for 4 quarters of basketball, to say the least. And you know, it's a matter of just starting off strong for KW. It's been their nemesis all throughout this regular season, is just finding a way to not having to dig themselves. So that was a factor here this evening. Have to protect the basketball a lot better as well. But if they're able to tidy that up, they could very well get some inaugural season playoff victories now too.
So they lose by 6 points, a game where Flynn Whitfield was not necessarily a big factor. You get him back in the lineup, it should turn into a different, at least, result in what he can contribute on the score sheet in a best-of-5 series.
Absolutely, but he's going to have to expect he's going to get the best defensive effort. It's playoff basketball. It's going to be a lot more physical, and it's certainly going to be a hostile atmosphere down in Windsor for games number 1 and 2 starting on Wednesday.
The Express, they have plenty of playoff experience, back-to-back championships a few years ago, and they're looking for the 3rd in franchise history. 103-97, the final here in Kitchener, as the Express come out on top against the Titans. Game 1 will go next Friday at the WFCU Center. You can catch WFCU Center. My apologies. You can catch that game also on YouTube.
And they've also changed the venue. Remember that?
They've changed the venue. That's right. New home, not only of the Windsor Spitfires, MasterCard Memorial Cup, and the first round of the National Basketball League of Canada playoffs. We'll be back on the air for Game 3 of the first round. That goes the following Wednesday, May 10th. That'll be a 7 p.m. tip. Once again, Dan Polishchuk and Ian Jodry. We'll see you in the postseason.
Playoff, baby.